everybody. Welcome back to Double Indemnity, the podcast.
The podcast.
Yes, welcome back. This is a podcast where we do our best to talk about movies. Seriously.
And try to sound like we're talking.
I'm kind of stupid.
About.
Jonathan's a movie buff. I just like popcorn. That's just a couple announcements. If you want to give opinions on movies that we're going to talk about, we post them on LetterBoxd a week before we post our review for that movie. So if you leave comments there, we would talk about it if anybody wants to do that. And also we post our podcast on YouTube. If you're watching it on YouTube, hello, subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you're not, you can also just listen to us on literally every podcast platform. So that's super fun. And finally, Jonathan, would you like to mention the spoiler alert?
Yes, there is massive spoiler alerts for this movie. If you have not seen this movie, steer clear of this. Steer
clear. Go away. I don't want to see your face. Go watch one of our other ones. Go watch another review of a movie you've already seen. Unless you want to get it spoiled, because we're going to spoil it.
Go seek revenge.
Yes, go seek revenge.
Kill Fjolnir.
No, you're giving spoilers.
I think they got it by now.
Okay, Jonathan, do you want to give us a synopsis of what this movie was and what it was? Because I haven't even said the movie yet, actually.
That's true. The movie is The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. Synopsis per LetterBoxd. Prince Amleth is on the verge of becoming a man when his father is brutally...
Becoming man.
I become man.
I become man.
When his father is brutally murdered by his uncle, 2 decades later, he goes back for revenge. This movie stars Alexander Skarsgård, Anya Taylor-Joy, Ethan Hawke, Nicole Kidman, Willem Dafoe, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing this incorrectly, Claes Bang. Like last name Bang,
I don't even know what character was that.
He's Fjolnir.
Oh, Fjolnir.
Mm-hmm.
I kept thinking that he was the guy from Game of Thrones who played the uncle who just never died of Beyond the Wall.
Oh, Uncle Benjen?
I imagined him being Benjen the whole time. He was just Benjen to me.
I never would have thought that.
That's what it was. Okay, so that is the synopsis. Basically, Viking movie. Moving on. What is your rating?
First time I saw this, 4.5. I love this movie.
4.5. Well, what about this time? When did you see it the first time?
First time was back in March when it first came out.
Oh, it came out this past March?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was like a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
Yeah. I didn't know that was so long ago. Oh my gosh. Well, we are behind on this review. I guess The Lighthouse came out a long time ago too, though.
That was 2019. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wowzers. Okay.
I saw this by myself in a movie theater.
In college?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
March of 2022 was our senior spring.
It was our spring semester.
Senior spring. You saw it alone. Oh.
And nobody else was in the theater. And
oh my God, I love
it was
That's the best way to see a movie.
Experience.
I love it when there's no one in the theater because you can just talk, actually talk. My sister and I have gotten up and danced in theaters when it was just my family because why not? It's just you guys. I wonder if they have like security cameras in there and they're like these crazy hoes.
Crazy. What are these people doing?
Crazy hoes. But that is literally the best time in a movie. I love it.
I'd probably, this time around, probably 4.
Why did you lower it?
Actually, I don't know. I'm back and forth on it. I'm always this way.
So indecisive. Oh my goodness.
Right now, it's like my number 3 of the year of 2022.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many movies did you watch in 2022?
So that came out in 2022. I have watched 54.
54?
Some action.
The movies that came... Oh, movies... Oh, so that was ranking high in your movies that came out in 2022.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like every movie you saw in 2022.
Oh, no.
So how many movies in total? Jonathan, so another thing about LetterBoxd, like you can track all the movies that you watch and rate them. So Jonathan, and I think everybody in my family does this, and a lot of your friends do this. They will literally track every single movie that they watch and leave a review, and then they can see what their friends say about it and everything. But I never end up doing it. And I mean, now we're at a point in our relationship that we live together. So like every movie that I do watch, you log.
Yes.
So like basically I have a log of every movie I've seen because we never have time to watch movies without each other.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if we're going to watch a movie, which is a sacrifice you have to make in a relationship, is if we're going to watch a movie, we both have to agree on it now.
Yeah.
But it's good for you with the podcast because I'm more likely to agree to movies like this, which I would never have watched before.
So you never would have watched this?
I would never have watched it before. But now that I get to talk about it and complain about it, and my opinion's going to be heard and validated, I'll talk about it.
Maybe not validated. Anyways, I watched 239 movies this year.
Anyways, back to the important information.
Which is like
239?
Which is 110 less than last year.
How many did you watch last year? He's looking it up.
Processing.
He literally, I saw the sparkle in his eyes. He was so excited to look it up.
343.
Jonathan, that's almost one a day.
I know.
How many? I mean,
really
obviously,
impressive.
you couldn't watch. Really impressive. Okay, just that's like 600 hours of your life. If you approximate. Okay, how many movies was it?
343.
343. So 343, assuming approximating 2 hours for each movie.
Averaging 6.6 movies a week. 28.6 per month.
Wow, you are nothing but consistent.
I know.
Let's see how many days of the year you spend doing it. So if it's 686 hours, approximating that, it was 2 hour long movies every time. Some are longer, some are shorter, obviously.
It's fair to assume.
Yeah, I think it's a fair assumption. Divided by 24. You watched... You spent 28 and a half days of 2021 watching movies.
Wouldn't take any of it back.
Oh my gosh, Jonathan, that's a whole month.
And that's
an entire month.
This is low.
But
there were some
what?
people who watched 700 movies in like 2021.
I do want to say though,
that's crazy.
Jonathan's main hobby is movies and cinema and news. I mean, think about it. If you say my main hobby I spent an entire month of a year doing, that's actually kind of legit. Like, it doesn't sound lazy. Like, if you say he spent a month of his year watching movies, but if you say, like, your main hobby, you spent an entire month of a year, it's kind of like, yeah.
That's a good point. I like that.
You're welcome for validating your habits.
Maybe I'll validate your opinions this time.
We'll see if I deserve it, of course.
We'll see.
Okay. So I would give it a solid 3 stars.
Solid 3.
Because I think that's generous because I actually have a 2.
I think it's generous
I have a 2
too.
written in my notes. But I'm giving it a 3 because I wasn't as bored as I thought I was going to be. And I think it was because of Anya and Nicole.
Yeah, that's true. That makes sense.
My queens are in this movie and they were fantastic.
Nicole Kidman was
They are 2 of my favorite
good.
actresses. She's so good. Did you watched The Princess of Monaco with me, right?
Excuse me?
The Princess of Monaco? I was watching The Princess of Monaco. Here.
The Princess of
Holding
Monaco.
your microphone. Okay, so The Princess of Monaco is a movie that Nicole Kidman is in, and she's playing, I don't remember what the name of the actress, but it was like Alfred Hitchcock's favorite actress, basically, to work with. Grace Kelly? I think it was Grace Kelly.
Grace Kelly.
I think it was Grace Kelly. She became the Princess of Monaco. And Nicole Kidman did a movie where she was acting for Grace Kelly. And there's a scene where she is like going through lines as if she was Grace Kelly practicing for a movie. And she's saying like the same line, like, if you touch me again, like, I can't handle it if you touch me again. And she says it like angry and sad and frustrated. And it's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize how good of an actress she was.
Okay.
I knew she was good, but then seeing her say like one sentence and like 10 different emotions, it was amazing. She is a goddess. I love her. And she's fantastic in this movie. So yes, I watched that one without Jonathan actually, which goes against exactly what we just said. I think that's the only movie that I have watched without you since we moved here.
Yes. And I still watched part of it, actually.
He watched little bits of it with me. I watched it over a couple of days because I was watching it when I got back from work, which I get back from work before Jonathan. And he will kind of just come in halfway through, and then I stop, and then we do something else. And so one day he actually watched it with me, and I thought it was a fantastic movie. Are you ready to talk about our notes from the movie?
Notes. All of the notes.
Ooh, so many notes.
Notes the boats. The notes rock the boat.
Rock the boat. Okay. So I guess I'll go first.
Yeah.
I realized, just a note on my notes before I get started. I realized like half of my notes end with question marks. Because I was like, interesting, confusing.
Interesting.
So that was just a note on my notes. And I also ended that one with a question mark. All of my notes ended with question marks after that.
Were they just questions and not statements?
No, it was like a statement that I was confused about. But
No.
I'm not going to start with that one because what I want to start with is I remember seeing these ads for this movie when they were coming out. I actively remember thinking this is going to be a boring movie, and I do not want to see it.
How could you think of that from the trailer?
That's actually what I thought of it from the trailer. So, yes. But because Nicole Kidman was in it and Anya was in it, I was more agreeable, more likely to agree to doing this.
Sexist much?
Not sexist. I just love them as actresses.
Yeah, I know.
I am not a huge fan of Ethan Hawke. I think he's a good actor, but I don't know. I think he's kind of a bad person. And I don't know who the other guys are. So, like, those are women that I really like in the career field. So,
I know.
I mean, you really like Carey Mulligan. If she was in the movie, you would have been really excited about it.
That's true.
Like, you would watch a chick flick if it had Carey Mulligan in it just because you love her acting.
No, I just love her. I mean,
I know. I had to, like, add acting at the end to make myself feel better about myself. Okay, something about this movie I did want to say was that I feel like that's how I start every single one of my sentences with this podcast. I'm like, something about the movie that I wanted to say. Well, let's get into something about the movie that I wanted to say. So I honestly did not like it until I changed my mindset about it.
Well, there you go.
So
okay, no, come on. How do you mean?
So I was like watching it. I was like, this is awful. Like none of this makes any sense. Like they just magically know shit and stuff just magically happens. But then I was like, wait, this is probably inspired after like a folklore story. And then once I realized that, I was like, oh yeah, I can dig it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like it. Like if I think of it that way, like a folk movie.
Mm-hmm. It's not folklore. Supposed to be like, it's like fantasy kind of, just inspired from folklore and Hamlet.
Yeah. Oh, those are my trivia questions.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's fine. I'm fine. Moving on. Something else I want to talk about in the movie. Let's just talk about the opening scene. Why don't we? I did not like it.
I'm blanking on the opening scene because I watched half of it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Jonathan he hasn't seen it again since originally, but we watched like the second half of it today. And I had started watching it by myself. The opening scene was like a volcano and a dramatic monologue.
Oh, I liked it. I just kind of think it it set the stage for what you kind of knew the movie was going to be.
When I was watching it, I was by myself. Okay, I was by myself. And I pulled it up to start playing it, and the screen was like bright bubblegum pink. I was like, wait, there's no way.
Wait, our TV was pink?
Yeah, I was playing the movie. It was bright pink. I was like, this is no way that this is how it starts. I was like, but it's Robert Eggers. You never know. You don't know what he's going with. And I waited it out, and then all of a sudden this dramatic monologue starts, and there's just a pink mound in the screen. I was like, there's no way.
Okay,
this is
first
right.
off, why was our TV pink?
I don't know, but I X'd it out, and I came back, and it was like black. And I was like, this seems right. This is
right.
Rob. This is Rob.
This is Rob.
So I was just like, I was like literally shook because for like a hot second there, I was like, is it supposed to be like this? Like, I thought it was totally intentional.
Just doused in neon colors.
I would not have been surprised. It was so weird.
That is concerning about our TV, though.
No, it was fine. I think it was a glitch with like Amazon. It was free on Amazon too.
It was free?
Which I didn't know.
I thought we paid
probably because
for it.
it's an old movie. Not old, but a year ago. Like if it was a newer movie, probably.
True.
I don't know. But yeah, at first I did not like it at all because the dialogue was so forced. But I guess that kind of makes sense because they were in this like forced family of happiness and this falsehood of a good family, and the dialogue was just so forced and awful.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
But then I guess it did relax once she ended up with the uncle.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was with someone she actually wanted to be with. Maybe that's why it was like that. But I remember thinking, oh my God, the audio is so... Not the audio, but the dialogue is like so forced. Did you have anything you want to talk about, or are you just going to let me rant and rave like I did last time?
I have things to talk about, sure, but you can keep going if you want.
Go for it. Lay it on me.
First off, I want to say that Rob's first movie, The Witch, budgeted like $5 million. The Lighthouse, $11 million. This budget, $90 million.
Are you Googling these things? He's totally stealing my trail.
Well, I knew The Lighthouse and this one is how to look up The Witch. I already knew that by design.
By design? I love how when you inhaled there, I could hear the mucus like suction in your throat. Did that actually happen?
No.
You inhaled and it was like, you know, like when you inhale mucus and it like clogs and you feel like you're gonna choke. That's literally, I thought that's what you were doing right now.
Anyway, that is a huge range to go from 11 million to 90 million for a movie.
Because I read though that he was like working with. It wasn't really an independent film like he normally does, so that's why he had the budget for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
has the notoriety to do big films like that. He just didn't do them, I thought, by choice.
Well, I think The Lighthouse did get a lot of critical acclaim too, which helped in that manner.
To help him get this deal, so you think he was shooting for it?
There was a lot of conflict with like the distribution companies about how the film like should be made.
Well, that makes sense. Obviously, the distribution company wants to make money, and they don't want them to put films out that people aren't going to want to watch, or it's going to give them a bad name. I mean,
That's
if
true,
I was working with him on a movie and I knew he had done The Lighthouse, I would be worried. I'm not going to lie. I'd be a little worried. What lamp oil is he drinking? That's what I say.
But from the director's point of view, like it's I guess technically it's not the director's money, but it's the director's movie and like his vision. I can see both. It's the producer's
movie, though.
It's both, yes.
No, it's who has the money. It's their movie. They hire the director to film the movie. It's
not
the
all
producers.
The time.
It's
No.
totally the producers, unless the director is producing it.
But sometimes producers
a lot of times
from
directors produce their own movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like Christopher Nolan or Tarantino.
Steven Spielberg, name drop. I don't know. I think it's the producers who pull the strings. Also, I've never worked in the industry though, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. So one hot topic that I want to talk about that was just running throughout the whole film, and maybe I think this was to show what the dad and the son were truly like in their souls and in their blood. But I thought it does not make any sense to me. Okay? It makes no sense to me. I don't understand why dying in battle is honorable. Like, obviously, if it's your culture, I'm not crapping on anybody's culture. I'm not saying anything bad. But I didn't understand the way that they were doing it. Like, I would never want to die in my bed. That would be awful. I would only want to die in battle.
Because it's Viking culture.
I know, but I'm like...
for Valhalla, you know what I mean?
But, like, what that means is that you want your people and your culture to always be at war so that every person can die at war.
Yeah, it's not the most sustainable of
Yeah, are there Vikings left anymore?
I don't really think they're a thing. Sure, descendants.
I'm a descendant of Vikings. My mom is from her ancestry. She did one of the 23andMe's is from Vikings stuff.
Oh, dang. Yeah. So, like, I'm blanking on the name. Eric, the dude who went to Greenland, the Viking.
I don't know.
I'm blanking on
I don't know
name.
that story at all. I'm sorry.
Somebody's listening and knows it.
I don't know anything about my cultural history. I'm sorry. But I think that having peace and keeping a peaceful country is a lot harder to do and a lot more honorable than just dying by somebody killing you with a sword because they hate you. But I'm not trying to crap on anybody's culture. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I don't understand it. Maybe I've just never experienced it. I don't know.
I don't think I want to experience it.
I don't want to experience it either. No, thank you.
Thank you
to
look
all
at.
of those people out there fighting for us. We appreciate you.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody. Okay, here's one of my statements where I just put question marks on the end of it. Okay.
Go for it.
The wolf scene.
I'm blanking on the wolf scene again.
When his dad took him in a cave at the beginning when he was a kid.
Yes, with Willem Dafoe.
And they were like barking around with Willem Dafoe. I was like,
it was kind of like an initiation, I think.
Initiation into what?
To become a man. That's what I thought.
Is that what your dad did with you?
Oh yeah, all the time.
All the time. Don't you only get initiated once?
Well, initiating for different things.
Is that what the pool house is in the backyard?
How did you know?
That's what you guys use it for.
I don't know.
I always had a hunch.
That's what I thought of it as. Like, and then Willem Dafoe's just there chilling. Anything Willem Dafoe in a Robert Eggers movie, he's always got to do something weird. I love it.
I love how it was really just kind of like a little like, hey, Willem, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my head. I loved that. I thought it was fantastic. Okay, and then going on to the having to die in battle thing, I wanted to say something else off of that I thought of that made absolutely no sense to me. And the fact that his father said that you have to avenge me for whoever kills me, but I have to die in battle. So if you think about it, if he has to die in battle, his son will have to avenge him one day for whoever kills him. And then if his son will obviously think, well, I have to die in battle. Well, I have to avenge. Like my child will have to avenge me. So it's just this constant chain of them dying in battle and avenging each other. But if they keep going to battle to avenge each other, they're going to die, and then their kids are just going to have to keep avenging them. It's such a vicious cycle.
It is not sustainable.
I was back to that. Unsustainable.
We're all about sustainability.
This is not how we build a long-term civilization,
Reuse,
we really need to
reduce,
rethink.
recycle.
Reuse, reduce, recycle. That was a good joke. Maybe we'll name this that.
I want to point out Alexander Skarsgård's workout routine.
Stop it! That was a trivia question!
I am on fire tonight.
I told you you're not supposed to look up trivia.
I didn't look up any trivia. I literally...
I love the way that Jonathan was just holding his hand like, stop it.
The pinky.
Stay back.
Whooshy finger hold.
You just...
Skin douche.
No, I would do the whooshy finger hold. You were just putting your pinky up. You were making me have the ability to. Skadoosh. I also don't think anybody can bend their pinky without bending their other fingers like Poe did in Kung Fu Panda.
True.
But that's a movie for another podcast.
He got buff for this role, and it shows. That
Poe?
Scene.
Jack Black?
I wish.
Yeah, he was like very buff.
That scene when he raids the village and it's that one shot.
Yeah.
The cinematography is so good in that scene, and he like catches the spear and then throws it right back at the person.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's actually inspired by like a Viking folklore story.
Really?
It happens in an actual story, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's why they did it.
Of course it is.
Cool.
Good job, Robert.
Good job, Rob. Okay, time for another statement ending in a question mark. Skeleton Tree of Kings?
Bloodlines?
I did not understand.
She's showing the bloodline and the family tree, ancestry.
But it was weird. It was like they took it as it was like not at all the movie vibe. You know what I mean? To all of a sudden they're like in this space age inside your body with your heart and your blood vessels are building the tree.
So your spirit.
And then they're all dead men. And he can magically like taste her blood and see it. I guess it makes sense in a folklore story, but I was just when I first saw it, I was like, "Whoa!" I was not expecting that from this movie. It threw me off. That's for shizzle. And then also he could see his kids in the future. Whoa! And he's like, "I'm choosing both." No, you're not. The prophecy. The prophecy. What is that? How does that video go? The prophecy.
It's true.
It's true. Yeah, with the cat like flying. That is what this moment was. I was like, dude, you are redonky chonk. You are going to die if you leave.
That's kind of what like the big point of the movie is, like, no matter what, like evil begets evil, and you can't choose your you don't really choose your fate. You're just gonna keep killing and keep dying.
I wonder what our fate is. Ever thought about that? Do we have fate like they do? They had so much purpose.
That's just true. They were very driven, but I don't really want to be driven for that kind of purpose.
They were both just like troublemakers. You know what I mean?
Just low-key troublemakers.
Troublemaker.
Pretty high-key, actually.
Pretty high-key. Oh, okay, I thought this was so weird. He had to summon a dead man to find a special weapon to kill his uncle.
Yeah, so...
I didn't understand it.
I thought it was just kind of like... just like another step like towards like his journey. I'm not really sure the physics behind that, because after he attacks him and he kills him by pushing them into the light with like an axe in his back, then he's back sitting in the chair and he just takes a sword.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. That happened a few times. Something would happen and then all of a sudden it would switch back and it hadn't happened.
Yeah, it's like he was imagining it, or it was happening in like some kind of metaphysical spirit world.
What does metaphysical mean?
No idea.
Why did you say it?
Sounds cool.
Wait, I need to know what metaphysical means. I gotta look it up.
I feel like I'm pretty close with it, though.
Wait, I gotta look it up. Wait, you do it. My phone is gonna die.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Metaphysical definition.
Definition, baby.
Relating to metaphysics.
What is metaphysics?
Thanks, Google.
Thanks, Google.
The branch of philosophy that deals with the first principles of things, including abstract concepts.
Of course, the first principle of things.
Being, knowing, substance, cause, identity, time, and space.
Okay, so it was metaphysical. So I still don't get it. So it's the physics of existing? I don't know.
Essentially.
I'm not good at that kind of stuff, y'all. I literally went to engineering school and I'm terrible at physics. Physics gets very complicated very quickly. Just gotta say it.
I don't like physics. I never took it, but I don't like it.
Okay, moving on.
Any more notes?
I was wondering, when the actors read this script for this movie, how did they not just think, like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like, the script was so weird sometimes. I should have written down some of the really weird quotes. But I was like, how did these actors literally read the script and, like, seriously be like, yes.
If I was an actor, I
Yes.
would say yes.
Like, Nicole Kidman was like, my son, I love you. You love me. Let's kill everybody and then go live together. Psych, I hate you.
Come on, it was such like a different role for her. It was like
No, she has done so many crazy roles that there is no different role for Nicole Kidman. Every role is a different role for her.
She transcends roles.
She is a metaphysical. She breaks metaphysics boundaries. But you can't say that Nicole Kidman is playing a different role because she always is like that. You can't say that phrase for her.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of actors admire the way Robert Eggers, the way he puts so much time and effort into the history and like making it true.
Oh, for sure. He does a great job with like making sure he fact checks himself.
Mm-hmm.
Fact check. Okay, ready for another statement with a question mark?
Don't actually.
Zombies? Like the dead guy.
You holding the sword?
Yes.
Yeah, we already talked about that.
I know, but I'm like, where did that come from? Where did it go? Where did you come from? Cotton Eye Joe?
I hate that song.
I was just like, I did not see it coming. And I just wanted to mention that there were zombies. And also, I didn't understand, going off of the zombies thing, his deadness sword, the sword that was undead and that you could only use at night.
I didn't catch it. He could only use it at night.
Yeah, I thought that he could only use it at nighttime, and that's why he was always wreaking havoc at night. But then, plot hole, when he was at the gates of hell, he pulled it out during the daytime. Because you remember that one guy couldn't pull it out of the sheath? Because I thought that you weren't allowed to do it during daytime.
I guess that makes sense because when he saved Olga, he didn't take it out. He just hit and wreaked havoc with the sword in the sheath. Yeah. Which is pretty badass.
I didn't even recognize that. I didn't even notice that.
No.
Yeah. I didn't think you could take it out during the day, but then he did it at the gates of hell, so I wonder what that means. Probably some metaphysical, transcending the laws of metaphysics.
It was probably close to evening at that point, I would think. When they get to the volcano, it's pitch black, and they're both naked.
Yeah, I didn't understand why they stripped to go to the fight, but that's a topic for another time.
I loved it.
Okay. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to talk about this. You ready? Are you ready? Why was it that he met, 16,000 different he witches, she witches, you know what I mean? Witches?
16,000?
He met 1 million witches.
Oh, he didn't meet...
Every time he met a witch, they would go, What was his name again? Amleth. They go, Amleth, son of blah, blah, blah. So good to see you. You're still alive.
It's all about the prophecy.
Every single one saw him. But then, for some reason, the one at his uncle's house was like, it's a dark magic. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, they literally see this random guy and they're like, I know who you are. But he just had a really crappy she witch at his place. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, they all knew instantly who he was.
Let that be a lesson. Get a good witch, guys.
Yeah, you gotta keep a good witch around, y'all. You can't be getting those. She probably wasn't even certified. She thought, it's in the back country. No one's gonna ask for my references.
And also, I forgot to mention Bjork, who hasn't been in a movie since like Dancer in the Dark, which is a very controversial Lars von Trier movie. She hasn't been in a movie since then. She's like a Dutch actress / singer. Let me look her up.
Oh my gosh, I've heard of Bjork.
Bjork,
like
really?
A singer. Yeah, I've heard of Bjork the singer,
Bjork.
not the actress.
She was one of the witches.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Love that for her.
She's been in 37 movies.
Keep it relevant, Yeah, I've heard of her before. She's like a really famous singer.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that. Okay, something I want to talk about. I wanted to say this when we were watching it, but I didn't because I couldn't talk about the podcast, but I wanted to say it so bad because I had a prediction that I was so right about. I knew that his mother really loved the uncle.
Really? Because that caught me out of left field. I thought that was
I wanted to say it so bad.
really.
Yes. I was like, oh. I wanted to predict it because, like, I always hate it when you, like, are at the end of the movie. And Jonathan does this all the time.
Oh boy.
We'll be watching a movie and we'll get to the end and he was like, I knew it. I'm like, you didn't say it before it happened, though, so I don't believe you.
Yeah, because I didn't want to spoil it for you.
It's whatever. I don't think that's true at all because normally your predictions are not right and mine are right because I was totally right that she did not love Ethan Hawke. And Ethan Hawke always plays a bad guy. I'm going to lay it down
That
there.
is just not true.
He always
Have
plays a
you
bad guy.
ever seen Gattaca?
Yeah, he was not a good guy in Gattaca.
Fine.
He might have been the best guy of all the guys, but he was not a good guy in Gattaca.
Has Willem Dafoe ever played a good guy?
Willem Dafoe doesn't play bad guys. He just kind of plays weird guys.
Yeah.
He just plays weird guys.
He's pretty good in Aquatic Life of something's
What?
Aquatic Life. What's that Wes Anderson movie?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. One of the older Wes Andersons.
Yeah.
I tried watching it and I couldn't get into it. It was a little too out there for me. And I'm a big Wes Anderson fan.
It's like Steve something.
Does he have a new movie coming out? Do you know? I just want
Who? Willem Dafoe?
Wes.
Oh yeah, it's called Asteroid City. It's
When does
got
it come out?
2023.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
It's got Margot Robbie, Maya Hawke.
I'm kind of over Margot Robbie.
I'll never be over
She
Margot
is-
Robbie.
Stop.
Kidding.
She's actually so gorgeous. I don't want you talking about her. You're like, moving on. Okay, I had a prediction about the ship scene. So when Anya and Alexander, I only know their real names.
Amleth. And
Alexander
Olga.
and Anya were on the boat.
You tried.
And Alexander's like, I gotta go. It's my fate. It's my destiny. And she's like, no, stay. I was like, I bet you every single woman watching this movie is thinking, why would he leave? He needs to stay. And I bet you every single man watching the movie was like,
Go! You gotta go. Obviously.
Because you want to see a shirtless fight scene.
In a volcano with swords? Of course we do.
I thought it was so funny because I was like, I know Jonathan is sitting here like, leave. You gotta go. Get out of here. And I'm sitting here like, this woman has to raise twins alone. Like, she has to be pregnant with twins alone. Like, I can't even imagine.
That's really funny you were thinking that.
You didn't even think that?
No.
What were you thinking? Were you like, you need to go, man. You gotta go.
You gotta go, man. There's no other option.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, literally.
Your destiny
Oh my
is
gosh.
calling.
Also, I have a do you know how in like Disney movies they like connect all the movies with random little like
Easter eggs?
Easter eggs? Yes,
Yes.
they connect
Like
all the
Pixar?
movies. Yeah,
Yeah.
Pixar. Well, I have an Easter egg from this movie, everybody, and I hope you're ready. Who is this little woman queen going to be?
What are you talking about?
The little woman queen, his daughter. Who is she? How does she connect to another series?
I don't know.
She is Rhaenyra of House Targaryen. That is who she is. That's all I could think of when I saw her. I was like, Rhaenyra! I am so lame. Everything I see, I connect to the Game of Thrones. Oh my
It's not
God,
lame.
I'm the worst.
You're cultured in Game of Thrones now. It's important.
I love Game of Thrones. Oh my gosh,
Um,
this annoyed me so much. We're going to get to my pet peeve with this movie. How many times could he have killed his uncle and he just didn't?
It was
He just didn't. Like, I swear it was like 5 times. I had to go through my notes and delete like 3 different sections where I had written, why doesn't he just kill his uncle?
more about exacting revenge, like in different ways, and like haunting him and causing him pain and terror than just killing him right away. Because he didn't think he deserved an easy death. That's what I think.
I think that's deluded. Like, he's risking his life just to ruin this guy's life.
Yeah, plenty of people do it all the time.
It was really bothering
I'm not
me. I
defending
was
those
like,
actions,
you could kill him
but I'm just
right now. And
my
then like
opinion.
he literally just runs into a sea of people. I mean, I guess he did it to let Olga escape.
True, that time.
And when I was watching it, though, I was like, Olga, you're gonna leave him? Like, but it was intentional. I love that they were in love, and then he ruined it because he had to go fight a battle shirtless.
I just want to say the cinematography in this is gorgeous. And I think they filmed in Iceland, I want to say. But yeah, no complaints from the cinematography. The scene in the beginning where they're on the boat about to attack the village, you know how it's like a shot with trees facing the water and you see the boat come in like from...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like one continuous shot. And they had to like carefully put the camera in the boat, and the people rowing had to be super careful not to hit
Oh my
the
gosh.
cameraman.
But they were rowing so intensely.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
That shot
goodness.
took like a lot of tries
I can imagine that would take a million tries.
because it went from like a crane to like a drone or something. I don't
It
remember
went
the
onto a
logistics.
drone?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
crazy. There's no way.
Maybe not a drone.
That would
It
be
was
a
something
really
else.
strong drone.
Oh yeah, I mean that
I don't know.
happens a lot.
That's crazy. Okay, one thing I wanted to talk about, which I just thought was interesting that I noticed, was his son, the uncle's son. What was his name? Thrier or something?
Thorier.
Thorier? Yeah,
Thorier.
Thorier.
Yeah.
He, like, they made him out to be such a dipshit, you know? Like, he was so annoying. And he literally, like, when he met Alexander,
Amleth.
when he met Amleth, he was like, don't look me in the eye, slave. And then literally the next conversation he has with Amlet, he's like, look me in the eye. Can you fight? Like, I was like,
Oh,
it was
that is
like, it made
weird.
him out to be like an idiot and inconsistent and like like a hollow person. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I didn't notice that.
I thought it was so interesting that like, I thought that was very smart writing in the script
That's a good
to
note.
make him extremely contradictory and like he's obviously like just a waste of space human.
Yeah,
I didn't like
that's
him.
good.
Oh, and then I also thought it's interesting to compare Olga to his mother because they're both slaves who've become like the obsession of these
Muses.
the muses of these like
Yeah.
gory kings, and then they both end up being destroyed by it basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
That's
thought it
a
was
good
interesting.
comparison.
And I thought one thing I did not expect was that his mother was gonna be a slave, and I expected her to not like him, but I thought she'd just be like a prissy princess.
Yeah.
Prissy princess.
Princess time.
Did you have any more comments you want to talk about?
Yeah, that scene with where Nicole Kidman like reveals that like no, she wanted her husband dead the whole time. She is so good in that scene, like Oscar
the
worthy.
screamy, like crazy lady scene. Yeah, she is
Terrifying.
She's an icon. She is amazing. I don't know how she does it.
Shout out to the Mountain, Game of Thrones.
Yes, Jonathan.
Kicking
Every
ass
time he
as
sees
usual.
like a giant man in a movie, he's like, "It's the mountain," and it was the mountain.
It was this time. Well, he wasn't in Babylon though. I messed that up.
Oh, really? I would have bet more money that he was in Babylon than this. It's funny. He's just the go-to. Like, I need a giant man. How do we get the mountain?
How do we
I
get
wonder
him?
if people call him the mountain in Hollywood.
Probably.
I don't know. He's a cool guy.
He has an actual name.
He's awesome.
I do have one fun fact. I'm wondering if it's going to steal one of yours.
It's fine. I only have like 2 left, so.
Alexander Skarsgård also stars as Eric Northman in the HBO series True Blood, which is very ironic.
Oh,
It's about vampires, apparently.
I think that's a very good fun fact.
What, Eric Northman? And he's in a movie, the main character called The Northman?
I don't know. It's just a little face value, you know?
So are you.
I know I am. At least I admit it.
Also, always good to see Ralph Ineson. He was in The Witch with Robert Eggers.
Who is that?
He was the captain of the ship where Olga and Amleth were when they were
He
leaving.
had a very small role, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
The volcano fight, absolutely crazy. The screaming.
I was not even watching it.
Oh,
I was so bored.
that whole scene.
Oh my god, what was genius though was how he stabbed him in the heart and you didn't realize it. So he cut the guy's head off and he's standing there.
Yeah.
And you think the guy's body is just holding the sword up, but he actually stabbed him in the heart. It was very smart.
That's true.
I thought it was awesome. That was really good. Are you ready for trivia?
Yes.
Get down on it. Do, 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 do. Okay. I had 9 questions. Now I don't know how many I have. So we're just going to see what happens. And we're going to go through one by one. So, what do historians think of the portrayal of Vikings in this movie?
What do historians?
Yes.
Accurate.
Accurate. Okay, a specific historian, a professor, an archaeologist, Neil Price, said that it might be the most accurate Viking movie ever made.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
That's pretty cool.
And I like how it wasn't like, oh, they have horns on their helmets and stuff. Like they were just like normal people. And they kind of had like Viking-ish boats.
Yeah.
So I guess that must have been the mindset of Vikings. Like you have to die in battle and get vengeance.
It was to reach Valhalla.
Valhalla.
Also, I love the scene with like the Valkyrie riding on the horse, like into the gates of
Multiple
Valhalla.
times, yeah.
Multiple times.
So,
Love that imagery.
why did Valkyria?
Excuse me?
Kirha? I don't know. The guy riding to Valhalla. What's his name?
Oh, the Valkyrie?
Valkyrie, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Valkyrie?
Woman.
Why did she have braces?
That is a good question. Maybe she really needed some dental work. I don't know.
So, tricks on you, she didn't.
It's a style
Trick
choice.
question. It is actually a dental marking that has been found on real Vikings.
Oh, shit.
Like historically found Vikings. They would carve it on their teeth and then they put pigment in it.
Oh,
And
that's
all
cool.
that I can think is like, well, wouldn't that just make your teeth so sensitive? You know, like you're cutting down almost to like get closer to the nerve, and then your teeth are going to be sensitive all the time. You don't brush your teeth. I don't know.
I don't like
Just the idea of doing
thinking
that is
about that.
really disgusting to me.
No.
It was. I can't think about it. Moving on. Okay, what were actually advantages of the pandemic halting movie production in March 2020?
I don't know. What?
There's two. Can you think of anything?
Advantages? So they halted production on this, or
Yeah, they were going to start in March of 2020, and then they halted it because of the
Weather?
pandemic. And there were two things that it was like, oh, I guess that actually kind of worked out well.
weather?
No.
I don't know.
One, it would weather the set more, so it would look more natural and old and like it's been there a while.
Oh.
And two, they could grow their beards out extra long. Which
That's
I thought was
That's
funny.
funny.
How long is the shot of the Slavic town raid, and how many takes did it require?
It's one. Is it one shot? Because I thought I saw one cut in it.
It's a one shot.
It's a one shot? Okay.
Yeah. You did a lot of one shots in this movie,
Right.
which are very impressive always. Very expensive. Very impressive.
A lot of planning. It probably took, I don't know, 20 times? I don't know.
Well, how long is the scene, too?
Oh, it's at least 2 minutes long.
It's 4 minutes long.
4 minutes long.
Isn't that crazy? I don't know. I thought that was crazy.
I love that scene.
And it took them 25 times.
25.
4 minutes. 25 times. And I mean, they'd have to reset up every time. It's not like, oh, 4 minutes, 4 minutes, 4 minutes. It's like 4 minutes, an hour of resetting up, 4 minutes, an hour. Like, I can't even imagine it.
Oh,
Ugh, I
that
would just
scene.
like,
I
the
love that scene.
pressure. I couldn't do it.
He just looks like a beast in that scene.
Well,
and then
that's what sets up his character for
he
being
rips
like,
the guy's throat
just-
out with his teeth.
he's a tool of destruction, basically. How did Alexander Skarsgård train for the movie?
Heavily.
He worked out 6 days a week for 6 months.
Sounds about right.
That is crazy. 6 days a week for 6 months. Did he have nothing else he was doing?
People, yeah, commit
I
to
mean,
the
he
role.
probably had to work out really hard. I can't even imagine. I don't know.
Not a good trainer. There's a lot of good movie trainers. A lot of popular ones.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like, they would get paid a bunch of money. A lot of actors' job is to look a certain way.
hmm
I couldn't do that. I would hate myself too much.
I could. I just don't.
Well, you wouldn't even need them. I mean, you're just so goddamn gorgeous.
I know. My physique is excellent.
Okay,
Paramount.
moving on. Okay, these are some interesting fun facts, actually. I'm going to save the best one for last, actually. We're going to go for a normal one and then a really interesting one, because this one I thought was cool. What was the weirdest ancestor shown in Amla's family tree?
The weirdest? I have no idea. I don't know.
He had a werewolf in his ancestry.
That's dope.
I know. If
That's cool.
only. If only. I thought it was really interesting.
Wonder how that conception came up.
I don't want to know.
Anyway.
Moving on. Final question, kind of a 2-for-1, that I thought this was really interesting. How much older than Alexander Skarsgård is Nicole Kidman?
She is
Keep in mind, she played his mother.
8 years older.
9 years older.
Oh, that was really close.
I mean, what's terrible is that, I mean, it could actually be reasonable for the timeline if she had been a child bride. But considering in today's times, that's ridiculous. And what was their relationship to each other when they acted together, Alexander and Nicole, in Big Little Lies?
They were husband and wife.
Yeah. Imagine that.
That's weird.
Playing someone's husband in one movie and then their mother in another.
That's weird.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was redonkulous.
I heard that show's really good.
I know.
That was his, like...
I tried to watch it like once and I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should try it. We're watching Jack Ryan right now.
I'm rewatching for
It's just,
her.
it's easy to watch. I don't
It
know.
is easy.
It's just an easy watch. And I mean, John Krasinski is a good actor, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's crazy. That's all my trivia questions, though.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
We did not say what we were going to do and decide a movie before we were going to do the podcast.
Yes, we did. I thought we decided on that one.
Which one?
The one that they're showing at the State Theater.
Oh, right. Armageddon Time.
How do you feel about that?
Good.
I would totally do it. It's got some good actors.
Directed by James Gray, starring Anthony Hopkins, Anne Hathaway, and Jeremy Strong.
All the goods. All the goods. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. We're going to do the, what was it called again? I was going to say the Andromeda Strain.
I don't really feel like talking about that
fantastic movie. That movie is pretty good, though. For like sci-fi of the time, I think it's great.
Your dad goes on and on about it.
My dad really, really likes it. But that's because it came out when it was relevant to him when it came out, you know? Sure. For us, we're watching it with the sci-fi movies of today. It just doesn't really compare.
Mm-hmm.
But
Armageddon
soon
Time.
we're going to say the same thing. We're going to be 50 years old and be talking about
Inception.
like Inception, and everybody's going to be like, the CGI is awful, and it's already dated in Inception. The scene with the book leaves flying, it's dated already, yeah. When she's like in a Parisian street.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't want to acknowledge it.
Jonathan is in a state of denial right now. We all go through these phases of grief. You just have to let it happen. I wonder what rage is going to be like.
You don't want to see that.
When Jonathan's mad, he's just quiet. Like you don't say anything. You just shut down. So are we in this phase now? I'm such an idiot. I didn't pick up on that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I am really craving some ice cream right now. So I think we should end the podcast.
Sounds good.
Okay. Bye, buddy.
Bye.